Morning, it is time to get up with a night that will reshape the NBA in so many ways, beginning with Boston, and it's brutal. Jayson Tatum down, looked as bad can be, and thus the Knicks, a laughingstock for a quarter century, are now the betting favorites to win the East. And then, the craziest of them all, last night, the D in Big D stood for, do you believe Dallas won the lottery? All that and more as we get up with you starting right now. Here we go.
Hey. Okay, you D. Okay, you D.
We got a squad. Donis Haslam is back and better than ever. Great to see you, big fella. Jay Will is here. Alan Hahn is here. We'll have Big Perk coming up. It was a crazy night in basketball. Put your feet up. We got all morning to talk about it. Let's start with the game at the Garden. Jayson Tatum, who was brilliant last night, and the Celtics visiting the Knicks in what was a critical game 4. First quarter, it was back and forth, and then Jayson Tatum himself went nuts at the end of the first period.
Well, the Knicks were switching everything. Remember last game, they were in drop coverage. They were switching, and that allowed Jayson Tatum to find some rhythm from the perimeter.
He knocked down 3 of the first quarter, and the Celtics had a 39-28 lead after 1, just like it always seems to be. Halftime, big advantage Celtics. And then Jalen Brunson went nuts for the Knicks in the third quarter.
We talk about Mr. Clutch. I mean, Captain Crunch is what Alan Hahn calls him. Just went on an absolute tear. Look at that. That's a mouse in the house, and he's the mouse.
A little later, Knicks are down by 4. More from Brunson over Derek White. Knicks down 83-81. A minute left in the third. Same score. Brunson, another jumper over White. Now it's the corner for O.J. Anunoby. Celtics scored 23 points in the third. Brunson himself scored or assisted on 25. Knicks up 3. Now 6 minutes left in the fourth. Celtics down by 3. Tatum, my goodness, was he good in this game.
Double dribble.
He had 42 points. The game is tied. Next position. It is the Knicks untying it. Anunoby knocks it down. Knicks by 3. 4 minutes to play. Knicks lead is 3. Brunson crossing over Horford. Brunson had 39. Knicks up 5. Next possession. Mikal Bridges into the painted area. Knicks by 7. Then out of a timeout. Here's the moment. Celtics possession. Jaylen Brown, we got a loose ball. Pay no attention to Anunoby and the slam dunk. That's not the important part of the story. Knicks up 9, but it's Jayson Tatum goes down. UD, what do we see in his leg?
I mean, as soon as he goes for the ball, you see that flex area gets overextended, and I think right now that looks really bad for Jayson Tatum, and I hope he's okay. Prayers out to him, but that looks like an Achilles to me.
Really bad. You can see when the player has that emotion, you see the tears in the wheelchair. That's not because it hurts so much. It's because he knows how badly hurt he is. A devastating moment for one of the league's best players and the defending NBA champions. He's taken off. Again, the Knicks win it 121-113. They take a 3-1 lead in the series. And afterwards, the Celtics were stunned.
I think everybody's concerned, with Jayson. I'm not sure how bad it is. Didn't look great. But I think everybody is, kind of more concerned with that.
What he means to us, what he means to Boston, it's just very tough for us. And more importantly, it's just really tough for him right now. So as a group, we just have to, rally together because obviously we've lost our leader and the guy that gets us going.
Okay, so we have so many different pieces of this story to unpack, and let's start with Tatum. We will get into the series and all the rest of that, but it begins with this extraordinary player having by far his best game of the series, single-handedly keeping his team in it, and then we see the injury. When you see it, what's the first thing that went through your mind?
My heart just dropped. 29 in the third with no free throws. He's cooking with no grease. Finished the game with 42 points. And immediately when I saw it, I said, this series is over for the Boston Celtics. That's where I went with it, after my heart dropped.
There are so many ramifications to what appears to be a serious injury to Tatum. I want to make it clear, there has been no official diagnosis. We are all assuming based on what we saw. But certainly, if it is what it appears to be, and there'll be an MRI today, the ramifications of this are extraordinary and they extend well beyond the series. Alan, what was your take? You were there, you saw it, you felt the energy in the building. What do we say about the Tatum injury?
Yeah, it was in that point, remember, there was just 3 minutes to go. The Knicks had taken a 9-point lead off that steal by Anunoby, and anyone that thought, okay, that's the dagger, the game's over, you're crazy. Because we just saw it in the highlight. Jayson Tatum was part of a 12-0 run in 90 seconds at the end of the first quarter. He hit 3 of the 4 threes. So he could detonate. He was detonating in this game. It was far from over. But once he couldn't get up, once they had to help him off the floor, that's when everybody in the building went, oh my God, they're going to win this game. Oh my God, they're going to take a 3-1 lead. And if that's serious, oh my God, they're going to win this series.
As of this moment, the New York Knicks are now the favorites at ESPN Bet to win the Eastern Conference. Again, we'll get into that side of it in a moment. You've known Jayson Tatum probably since he was a freshman at Duke. Well, he only played 1 year at Duke and all of that. What were the emotions? What were the emotions as you saw him here?
I was devastated, Greeny, by it last night, and devastated for him, first off, because he had finally found his efficiency and his rhythm from the field. He was actually the only Celtic to find his rhythm from the field in that particular game. And also on the game itself, do you know that Jayson Tatum leads the Boston Celtic franchise history in 50-point games? In 50-point games, and he was on his way to another 50-point game, and every basket was meaningful down the stretch while they were down 7 with 3 minutes left to go in the game.
Absolutely. He winds up again with the 42 points, 16 of 28. We've been talking about the efficiency. He was ridiculously efficient last night. He was ridiculously good. And the big picture here, again, we're talking about this as though we know what the injury is. I feel a need to keep repeating. It is not official. There's been no diagnosis. They haven't had the MRI. But we've seen this particular injury so many times of late. We're all too familiar with the tests that they do, right, when you see it, when they can't do anything with the back of that leg. We saw it with Aaron Rodgers on a football field not long ago, and here it is with Jayson Tatum.
Damian Lillard, same thing.
And so it does feel like this series, if Jayson Tatum is not able to continue, Game 5 is tomorrow night in Boston, it does feel like a series that I will admit I thought swung completely in Boston's direction in Game 3, has now swung perhaps permanently in the direction of the Knicks.
Right, and then, when you'll look at where the championship window is now for this team, because if it is an injury that we at least think it might be, that's a year.
Yes.
And so after that, now you're talking about waiting a whole year to get a star back. And then what do the Celtics do, knowing where their payroll is, where their tax situation is, ownership and all that other stuff is? You wonder, a team that they assembled that last year won a championship and a lot of people thought could win a couple, that moment could have not just ended a game and a series, but did it end a championship window?
It's just crazy how you can go from championship contender automatically to rebuild roster. Right? Like Al Horford, 34 years old, Drew Holiday, older players. Like, what do you do to revamp that while Jayson Tatum recovers?
Yeah,
the oldest rosters in the playoffs.
The ramifications of this are extraordinary in so many different ways. For whatever it's, well, let's not even do that. Let's not talk about the Celtic future. Let's talk about this moment. You're on that team now. You're a Boston Celtic, and you have seen Jayson Tatum go down, and let's just presume he's not getting up, certainly at least not in time for Game 5. What are you saying to your teammates about where this series is coming home down 3-1?
I look around that locker room and I tell the guys we have enough. We take it one game at a time. We have enough to get one game at home in front of our home crowd. And that's all we worry about. We don't worry about anything else but taking care of that one game. We have championship DNA. We have coaches. We have leadership. We have everything we need to get one game alone. And if I told my team we go home and all we need is one game, I got to believe that everybody in that locker room feels like we can get one game no matter who is out.
And UD, there's a great commercial out that Jayson Tatum is Superman. Okay, it's time for the Batman. Like, it's time to get dark and gritty.
Say it again.
Right? It's time for Batman. Jaylen Brown, Batman, dark and gritty. Time to do all those things and take it one game at a time.
And also keep in mind, the Celtics haven't won a home game in this series yet.
Right.
That is also a little bit of pride on the line for them to make sure, if we're going down, we're not going to have it happen at home. So what you saw in Game 3 was a desperate Celtics team. The Knicks have to expect to see the same thing in Game 5 in Boston, in a raucous atmosphere of a team that does not want to just give up and lay down. They're not going to do that. And so that Game 5 is going to be an epic watch.
Can I just do this for 1 second? Bravo to New York.
Yeah.
Just, I know we're talking about Jayson Tatum. I know we're talking about the Celtics, but just wow. Bravo to New York. Actually, their defensive strategy worked. Like, they were in drop coverage last game, right? They switched this game, and they baited the Celtics into taking a lot of threes. And Jayson Tatum was the only one in rhythm.
Yes.
Nobody else was in rhythm.
Yes.
Nobody else. It was a great game plan.
There was rhythm in that first quarter, because that first quarter looked like
Derek White, yes.
That looked like the same script as all the other games.
You gotta be patient with it.
The Knicks went in to go, well, we got to get off to a good start. Next thing you know, they're down 10.
They got off to a great start. It's a better start than the first three games.
But the difference is that they showed more resiliency. They did not let it affect them. Their early misses, they kept playing hard. They actually had a lead, and then Tatum went crazy into that first quarter. But from the second quarter on, the Knicks outscored them by 19 points the rest of the way.
The difference was that we've been saying it all along. We haven't seen vintage Jalen Brunson carrying his team in this series. He had huge fourth quarters in the first two games. Last night, and we showed you in the highlight what he did in the third quarter, we scored 18 points in the third. Jalen Brunson had one of, if the Knicks go, look, it's so premature at this point, it's ridiculous. They haven't even won this series yet, and they will face a very tough Indiana team, we would assume next, that knocked them out a year ago. But if the Knicks should make some sort of run that gets remembered for a long time, that third quarter, UD, that Jalen Brunson had last night is going to live forever in the memory of the fans of this team.
I mean, I don't know if people know this, but Derek White and Drew Holiday are two all-world, all-defensive players.
Yeah.
You would think when Joe Mazzulla puts those guys on somebody, you can eliminate that guy out of that matchup. Nah, not with Brunson. He's taking advantage of those guys. He's getting the paint. He's getting the three. He's getting switches against Al. He's taking advantage of that. So he's scoring from all three levels right now.
How is he? Let's get into that specifically. How is he doing it? Because you do watch him, and it had been bothering him in this series. Jalen Brunson, who is a spectacular player, all NBA, all the rest of that. This has been a terrible matchup for him for exactly the reason you're talking about. The Celtics are big and athletic enough at that position that they can go at him in waves, and they make it tough for him. How did he do it last night?
Surprisingly enough, he's going straight through Derek White's chest. He's going at him. And on Drew Holiday, he's getting...
What's your favorite team? Comment below, and if you liked the video, please leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and brings you even more content. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive all notifications. With each game, we noticed that the NBA is getting more competitive every day, and all the teams are looking for reinforcements to win the championship. And only here can you follow your favorite team daily with incredible content from different sources. Here on the channel, there are new videos every day with analysis, curiosities, and the best moments in basketball. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for following along. The NBA doesn't stop, and neither do we. Until the next video. NBA, the passion that connects us.